The biggest setback to every single American's financial future, according to research, isn't how much money they can save, isn't how big of a real estate they own or how much real estate they own, isn't even how much of a stock portfolio or what their holdings looks like. You see, the biggest setback that the average American faces is their credit score and what's on their credit report. Here's a little fun fact for you. Over 20 million Americans right now in 2021 don't even have a credit score, let alone anything reporting on their credit report, whether it's good or it's bad. And so, well, what do we have now? We have Joe Biden that wants to get rid of the three credit bureaus, the big three, the three most, what many would call the most corrupt companies that don't necessarily work for us, the consumer, but rather work for the creditor, because they're actually taking all the information that they have, and that's what they're putting over on your credit report. So I'm referring to Equifax, I'm referring to TransUnion, and I am referring to Experian. Now, these three credit bureaus right here, many would say that they have not only been racist in the way that they report, according to research. Obviously, we know because of redlining, a practice that was done back in the 50s and 60s, where if let's say a minority group would try to purchase a home, they would draw a red circle on a map, pretty much letting these banks know that you cannot finance any type of, or you can't finance to this specific minority group in this specific area. Now, this isn't a video to talk about redlining or to talk about the racial disparities or the economic inequalities that the credit bureaus have been accused of having over the years, and which has pretty much kept people from, and again, more so the minority group. And when I say minority, I'm referring to African Americans and Latinos, again, according to statistics, that's kept them from building large amounts of wealth by investing in real estate, getting lower interest rates on their credit cards, and getting lower interest rates on the vehicles that they purchase, all because of that three-digit score, right? We call that the FICO score. But now it looks like Joe Biden is actually looking to speed up the process in which the three bureaus actually get completely terminated, meaning these for-profit private companies would no longer have an impact on what gets reported onto your credit score, because it would all come down to just one credit score. Have you ever taken a look at, let's say, your credit score, right? Maybe it's just me, but if you've ever taken a look at your credit score, you'll take a look at one side, you'll see that it's 760. And then you'll take a look at the other score and it's 720. And then you'll take a look at the other score and it's 610. And you start to wonder, wait a minute. Why is it that I have, let's say, a perfect, near perfect credit score, but one of them, it seems that my score, I can't seem to get it up, or it seems like they're reporting information that has nothing to do with me. You see, this is one of the pros that it comes with actually having Joe Biden's plan go into place. Now, look, this isn't supposed to make this anything overly political, but I just want to give you really the facts of what this plan would look like if and when something like this were to actually go into place. You see, right now, as a scoring model is composed, and the way that it looks is that you would not be able to report your rental payment history. But if you did want to report your rental payment history and have it report onto your credit, which many would argue that it actually should be on there anyways, right? Especially if you have your rental payments that you're making on time every single month. If your mortgage is reporting every month, why can't we use our rental payment history to report every single month, especially since they both use our credit scores anyway, whether you're looking to rent an apartment or if you're looking to obtain a mortgage for your home. And so the only way that you can actually do that right now is by actually hiring a third party vendor to take and scrape all the information, pretty much the last 2 years that you've been reporting, and then have that reflect over on your credit report. Now, a vendor that I use and that I trust, and by the way, they haven't sponsored this video, but if you wanted to check them out, I've dropped the link down in the bottom. You can check out Rental Karma. Rental Karma goes back as far back as 2 years. So let's say if you've been renting for 2 years in the same apartment or in the same home, that can actually get added to your credit because it will report to the credit bureaus. And then with that reporting to the credit bureaus, you can see anywhere between a 50 to a 60 point jump within its first reporting, which would happen within the first 10 to 14 days. And if you have no credit at all, you can literally go from a 0 to a 610, 620 credit score, not exaggerating, just by adding your rental payment history. Again, you can check that link out down on the bottom. They haven't sponsored this video, but I do have an affiliate link with them that I pretty much allow all of my followers followers and whoever watches my videos to go ahead and check them out, and you'll get a 25% off once you've subscribed to their service. Okay, so that's the first part. When it comes to you being able to have your rental payment history, which right now it doesn't reflect. The second thing that the plan would have is that you would be able to add your utility bill. Look, I'm not sure about you, but it kind of goes back down to this thing where if you have your utility bill, a lot of it also comes back down to you having good or at least decent credit. And if you don't, often you're gonna have to pay $300, $400, $500, even $600 just to get your light turned on, or just to get your internet bill, or just to get your internet set up in your property. If you've ever dealt with that, it's most likely because your credit score there or credit report, there's maybe something on there. And then lastly, when it comes to actually the second to last thing is your medical bills. Something else that Joe Biden wants to do is he wants to remove any type of reporting when it comes to your medical debts. We know that obviously we can get some of that off with HIPAA letters and by disputing it, but they feel that unfortunately this is actually hurt consumers from maybe a cause or something that shouldn't have been there to begin with, because obviously we know that if we get sick, it's not something that we can control, and then we get hit on the back end with a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 bill, then that hits our credit report, and who has $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 laying around, let alone any money to kind of start paying that down, especially when you have other bills. Now, one last thing that the Biden administration wants to do, apart from handing this over to the CFPB and taking care of those three things that I just told you, which again are seen more as a pro to this program before we head over into the con, is this. When it comes to the way that they report you right now, if let's say you have a collection on your credit report, it's going to last 7 years. But with this new regulation, it's only going to be on there for 4 years. But even though it's going to come off significantly faster, you still have to wait a couple of years for it to come off, which now allows us to just kind of naturally segue into some of the cons that I really think we should pay attention to when we're looking at this new program and how it's looking to get set up. One, how much of what we can say, how much of the government do you actually want involved in some of your information? Now, of course, we have the three credit bureaus. We know that they're nasty the way that they report. There's things on our credit report that shouldn't even be there. And oftentimes it's a hassle when we're either paying for a service or when we're disputing it. But when it comes to having the government involved, many feel that they don't necessarily want their information on a public registry, which is where you would naturally be able to dispute these items yourself. And so with the government kind of just having a one-stop shop, many feel, okay, well, we're removing it from it being a monopoly with, let's say, three big companies. Obviously, there's more credit bureaus out there, but these are the big players, the big three. I don't necessarily know, many would say that I don't necessarily know if I would feel comfortable just handing this off to the government and the CFPB to be in charge of my information. It sounds like something maybe a foreign country would do that. So again, this is a big issue, and this is why I wanted to make this video, to kind of hear your thoughts and hear your voice, which, by the way, you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments of what you think about this. If you think that this is a good thing to remove all the power from the three credit bureaus, or if you think it's a bad thing if we put too much information and if we put too much power in the hands of the government of what they can or can't remove from our credit. Now, this is expected to be streamlined, but the biggest issue that I see with this, apart from possibly just having it a one-stop shop, is, well, right now there's certain techniques, and right now there's certain ways that you can actually dispute some of these items off your credit report, which, by the way, you guys have been telling me, and I've been seeing your comments, which I'm happy. You guys have been telling me that you guys have been using the letters that you guys have been able to get off my website. You guys have been using some of the methods that I have here in my YouTube videos, and you guys have been using some of the strategies that I post over on my TikTok. Now, if you did want to check that out, again, those letters and those tools and those resources are over on my website, irvofficial.com. You can go ahead and check that out. But I say that to say this: if right now you're paying for a service, or if right now you're looking to get these items off of your credit report by doing it yourself, by using the DIY kits, kind of like what I have on my website, well, you right now would be able to, because right now there's a formula that's working. Right? We know how the formula works. We know how to get these items removed. We know what it takes in order for us to get from a 500 to a 600 to a 700 to an 800 credit score. There's a certain remedy. There's a certain what we can call a scientific equation behind it, right? If we must. But when this transitions over into what possibly would be what Joe Biden wants to do with the CFPB, everything kind of changes. And there's going to be a learning curve. And yes, you can possibly say, well, you know what, I'll just go ahead and wait for this to transition. But you still have to wait 4 years, especially if by the time people start learning, okay, these are the loopholes, this is what I can do, this is what's legal, this is what I can't do. By the time that happens, you maybe have to tack on a few more years to those 4 years, assuming you want to wait that long, especially if you're looking to start investing in the near future, or if you're looking to buy a car in the near future, or if you're looking to open up some business credit, or if you're looking to start investing in real estate. Me personally, with the way that things are, the prices are skyrocketing, the way things are inflating, I would not want to wait that long to see my credit score, to see my credit go into the 700s, especially if, let's be honest here, there's never a guarantee on the back end. There's only possibilities, but there's never an actual guarantee, especially when we have the government involved. You want to make sure that you start taking things into your own hands and you take advantage of things how they are now, rather than waiting. That would be my 2 cents. Now, again, there are some pros to this because, again, if it makes it easier for the consumer, again, I'm speaking for myself here, myself as a consumer, over having so much power to the creditor, which, or to the borrower, or to the lender, the creditor, which is who the credit bureaus favor, then of course we want to even out the playing field. But at what expense is that actually going to come? So again, I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know if this is a good thing. Let me know if you're going to wait. Let me know if you're already working on fixing your credit because you're trying to make some moves. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Join the official community. Don't forget that anytime we're not posting on here, we're posting over on the Inside with Irv show, which is our podcast style channel. So if you like what we have going on over here, you'll love what we have going on over there. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, everyone, I will see you in the next video.